Hello, everyone. Before I go any further, I would like you to know I did not want to do this video. I was instructed that I needed to do the video, and I'm not sure, other than the fact that this video will be 110% my truth. That's it, nothing else. In order to protect myself from a lawsuit, I have to be very careful how I word things so that it doesn't make it as if I am speaking from someone else's mouth. I'm only speaking from mine. I wasn't going to do the video. I still don't feel comfortable doing the video, but I am going to do the video because of how I feel knowing that I finished my book. The title of my book is Awakening: Finding My Power After the Storm. And basically, I was in a relationship with a married man. I did not know he was married. I wasn't given any of that information prior to, even before I had sex with this man. Prior to all of that, during the process of me being with him, there were things I said I didn't want. And anyway, everything that he intended is exactly what he got. During the time that I was gaslighted, I fell for him. And I absolutely can promise you without a shadow of a doubt, I still love this man. Can you imagine loving someone, not trusting someone, not liking someone, and feeling that this person is a fraud all at the same time? Is completely confusing. It is draining, and I don't know how to say it. I struggled for months trying not to hurt myself. I didn't want to live any longer because of how I felt. And I don't know how to say it other than to say it how it is. I was stripped of my sanity because of this man's power in the bedroom. This man's power in the bedroom. Now, I'm not a person who kisses, for one, and I'm not a person that want to be treated like a breakfast table, if you understand what I mean. And I made it clear. I made it clear. And then to have someone ask me, and look at me with the little mousy eyes, and I just was magnified with whatever power this man completely had over me. I spoke with my therapist yesterday, and I told my therapist that he was absolutely right. And I realized everything that he said was true. The reason why I suffered the way I did is because I lost control. And the reason why I lost control is because everything I had was gone. Everything I had was gone. I think the sun rose on this man's head. I couldn't see him do anything wrong. And then I remember speaking to one of my YouTube followers, and some of the things that she said was leaning towards that she saw this before I was able to see it. And I'm going to let you know, I'm not blaming him for anything other than coming to me under false pretense. That's it, because he took my choices away from me. He took my options away from me. Those are the things that I blame him for. But I'm going to tell you, during the time that I was weaning myself, trying to put space and distance between us so I can get my sanity back, I couldn't get my sanity back because I missed this man like it's like somebody might have missed breakfast if they was incarcerated and taken away from their mother's baked macaroni and cheese and oxtails. So I was thrown. I can't even tell you the amount of times I cried myself to sleep. But yesterday was the day I took back my power, because I think I was here alone for about 3 weeks. And during that 3 weeks, all I could say to myself was, no, no, no. Well before 3 weeks, well before 3 weeks, I started to question, because in here, I was learning the Bible. I was watching church sermons and services, and I was going through everything. I had all these questions I couldn't get answered. And then I'm looking at people that I know that kick the church door down, and I know how they live outside of the church. I know their mind state and all these kind of things. And I know that they would walk past somebody if they see them laying on the side of the street. Even if they knew them very well, they would let them sleep on the street. But there are things I had to overcome and realize that not everybody has the kindness of heart. I also realized that I'm a goddamn Libra. I'm a fucking Libra, boys and girls. And I'm not gonna beat you in the head with no bullshit. Don't fuck me. Don't cross me. Don't try me, because I'm coming for you. I sat here for months trying to figure out how I was going to gain back my peace and my damn tranquility. And yesterday I got it. Why? Because Sir Mister texts me to ask me if I want him. Yeah, absolutely, I want you. Absolutely, every way I can goddamn get you. But I had him sprawled out on my bed in the fetal position, not the fetal position. Baby girls, listen here, honey. You know when you lay up on the nursing table like this, boys and girls, this man was on his back with his head and his legs rolling in the air, just licking his damn lips and going bonkers, boys and girls. And I said to myself, and mind you, I couldn't. I tried to stop crying, tried to stop the breakdown, because I knew in the moment that my clothes were fully on. While he was in the shower, I knew the devil was walking through me. I knew exactly what I was doing. And guess what? The camera was right on the man's ass crack. All his cookie facing right in my damn camera, boys and girls. And my friend was like, girl, all you got to do is leak it. Now, I know the law. I know the law, and I'm gonna say it plain and clear, because nobody can sue me for something I did not do. You can't sue a person for something they didn't do. All my friend said to do was record him. And if you share the video with someone and they leak the video, you can't be sued. So then I sat down and thought about the Kardashian girl. What's her name? Oh, I don't know, Kim. And then I said, no, I can't do that. But then I was thinking, rage ran through me, because I said to myself, all of this could have been prevented. And then I had a level of despair over the course of these months, because all of this could have been prevented if I had only known one little piece of detail about him. But in the same token, I had to say, okay, because I got to try to mask certain things in order to allow me to move forward, knowing that I went through an experience that I didn't have to go through. And I'm going to tell you, I had some of the best times in my life with this human being. You hear me? When I say kindness and all that other stuff is what I had. But then I took notice on my own that the words that were coming out of this person's mouth, let's say his name is Pastor Furman, because that is exactly who it is. And I didn't give you the first initial, and I didn't give you the first name, so I can't be liable for slander, and nothing I'm saying is false. So anyway, and I was made and aware that I needed to make this video. So I'm going to tell you. But yesterday I sat down and I thought about it. I thought about the fact that I laid in this house and I almost commit suicide because of how bad I felt. I felt like somebody took a part of my world and just walked on it. And then when I started to realize that, for one, I'm watching this man at the podium at his church, and he's saying all of this stuff, and then I'm like, is this the same person that was just laid up in my bed turning me around like a cartwheel? And I'm like, and then I see, for one, remember, I did not know he was married. So, and when I found out, that's when I went to the page, and then I hear all this about the church lady or the first lady, and I'm like, wow. And then I'm sitting here like, you don't want to do anything to hurt someone, especially someone who's innocent. Then what hurt me was he said that they weren't together anymore, but he was still there in support, because she was sick and dealing with this and this and this. And Then when someone else who is very good friends with said wife said to me, "This person ain't sick. She's stupid. She knows exactly who he is." And then I found out that it's like four women that went through this same thing I went through, but their life is absolutely distraught. They have not overcome any of this. I have overcome. You want to know why? Because I took back my goddamn power. You are not going to come in here and think you can give me this world spin and tell me that you're going to marry me and all these things. And I go to my mother like an asshole. So, when, oh, he said he's going to marry me. And then I see a look on her face like, and still nothing about the fact that this man is married. You understand me? When I found out, I said, oh, wow. But I understand. I talked it over with someone, and although everyone I talked to said I am absolutely right to feel the way I feel, because had it was their child, they would have told them, there would have been no ifs, ands, or maybes. But I understand when it comes to my situation, because loyalty is loyalty, and that's all it is. And if you don't understand what I just said, then I'm sorry for you. But I told Mr. that loyalty lies with you, and that's it. So I don't have to ever in a million years wonder where my place in society is. I never have to wonder that. I already know. But I'm going to tell you something. This man, this man's sex is so powerful. You would do almost anything just for 5 minutes of this man's time. The way he talks with the smoothness, and the way he looks at you with those eyes, he can peel the skin off of a banana without putting it in his damn hand. And I every time he walked out my door, I felt like useless trash. I felt like useless trash. I felt like I was gonna sink in a freaking hole and just devour my own self. I felt shitty. I felt like useless trash. And I kept saying to myself, but I cried myself to sleep. I cried in the shower. I cried in the kitchen. I stopped cooking the way I was cooking. I couldn't cook anymore. I really couldn't craft like I wanted to craft. I was horrified. And all I would do is vacuum the floor, dust, get some Clorox and water, wash the walls, and those type of things was helping me get through the day. Scrubbing a bathtub when nobody was in the tub and it was no ring around the tub, none of that. Washing my clothes, and that's all I did to get over what I was getting over. I tried to talk to people, then I said, no, I'm not going to talk to anybody, because sometimes you don't need to talk to people, because people just want to be listening to your stuff and don't really have a solution. And the solution doesn't have to come from anybody. It has to come from you, because at the end of the day, the solution is going to be for you to get where you need to go. I was horrified when I was told that I needed to make this video. I was horrified because I'm like, excuse me, I done worked so hard with my channel. You need to put that on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I, the first day I went to church in many years, that was the day I was going to commit suicide. Had I not called my mother and asked her, what time does church start? That was the day I was going to commit suicide. I had already saw my daughter at my coffin asking me how could I leave her in this world all alone. And that is exactly what I would have done. I would have left my daughter in this world all alone, because let me explain something to you, and I mean no ill will to anyone. If I drop dead and anything happens to my daughter, she is on her own. You understand me? With little friends or the man who may like her or love her, that's all she has. Nobody in my daughter's life or my life is taking my daughter in, is going to help my daughter in any way, shape, or form. So I knew immediately, regardless of whatever I had in the past with my daughter, there was no way in hell I was taking my life. Not only that, I had already had this transition going on in my body where I started hearing certain things, and nobody can tell me I didn't hear God talking to me. And I'm not here to make you believe, because if you don't believe, that's on you. That's your business. We all have to live in this world together. I respect everybody, and I hope everybody respects me. But I know what I heard, baby. I know what I heard. Nobody can tell me. I woke up out of my bed one day and turned the TV on, and this man was preaching in these words, and they were saying, repeat after me, and I was repeating after, and then all of a sudden my hands went in the air, and I'm just speaking something I never heard, I don't understand, and everything, all I could do is cry. And I kid you not, I love the Lord. Do you hear me? I love the Lord. And if it wasn't for me loving the Lord, I wouldn't have realized that this man that's standing in the altar in Fishkill, New York, is a fucking imposter. You hear me? And you want to know how I knew for sure that this was an imposter? When I went to church, my mother's church, and I saw the real anointing standing at the altar. Boys and girls, if you walk into that church and you listen to that man preach, that man is anointed. You hear me? That man is anointed. And I knew, and what bothered me, what hurt me, what killed me in my soul was seeing what I saw on the video of this man at the altar, not in my mother's church, but then coming in my house, turning me upside down in that bed. And then I had to pretend that I didn't feel what I was feeling, which was disdain, untrust, not safe anymore, no longer security, none of those things. And then to know that you would say all of these things with your mouth, but your behavior said something different. It sent me over a world spin. It sent me somewhere I didn't know where I was going. I was confused. I didn't know what to think. I'm like, am I seeing things? Am I going crazy? What in the hell is going on? Because the same person that would say they're going to make sure they help me with my cards, they're going to help me with my rent, all of these things, and not one time did this person ask me, did I eat? You know, I remember the day that he made this delicious steak, but I took the steak out and asked him to make it. But never on their own to see that I was fed. And I don't know what anyone else may think. Some people may think if you don't buy me a pocketbook, a weave, and little eyelashes to get your nails done, that you don't have any compassion, and I don't give a damn about those things. If you don't care about me eating, it makes me feel a certain type of way. And then I realized every time this man sat at my table and ate, it was my love that he was eating. And I felt so good. I felt so good because we were in here, and I started to feel like I was part of a union. I was part of a union, and I did not know some of the information that would have gave me a little bit of awareness or some choices I could to make for myself. Now, I'm not saying that people don't separate and marriages don't. I'm not saying any of that, because I married my husband not wanting to marry him. I married him not wanting to marry him. He threatened to cut up my mother's body and mail everybody a piece of her body. That's the only reason why I married the man. I didn't want to marry. We didn't even speak from the day of the wedding. We wasn't even speaking. I didn't love this heathen, but we good now though. Anyway, I did my book today, and I had to really and truly cushion some of the things I said, because I know that somewhere down the line that my mother was going to hear some of the details in the book. But anybody with a good head know damn well what was going on in this book. But I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to give it to you real and simple. Anytime you are in a relationship with someone else, and you can step outside of your home and make someone a personal ice cream cone for yourself with all the fixings on it, and go back home like nothing ever happened, you are a savage. You are a savage, because that is some behavior. And that is what tipped me over the edge, because I said from day one, I did not want that man's mouth on me, because I know what that means to me as a person. And I'm going through a transition with my medicine. And I'm telling you, no lie, it is horrible, because I am on half of my medicine because my psychosis is getting so much better. But there's this thing, these visions and these sexual things, like this damn freak inside of me that I didn't even. And then I don't know how to say it, but I felt violated because I said what I didn't want. And then I ended up being a breakfast meal, a fucking dessert tray with all the fixings on it. And then to know it was purposely done. It was calculated. It was calculated, just to keep going and then keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you say, why did you let me do it? That to me is like cutting me with a knife, because after that, my behavior completely did a 360. And although I knew everything, I knew right and wrong was not even on my plat, was nowhere near. The only thing I wanted was 5 more minutes with that man in the bed. 5 more minutes. And that's the shit that got me. That's what made me want to commit suicide, because I lost control of right and wrong. I'm not going to ever tell somebody that I'm perfect. By all means, I am not perfect. But I kid you not, I wanted the power that man gave me in the bed. That's what I needed, because it filled me in a way that I don't recall ever feeling. But I already know I didn't want that feeling from somebody that wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. Yesterday when he turned me around and tried to take my clothes off, I'm like, no. He was like trying to get the cookie. I'm like, no, I don't know where you been. And with the decent heart, because he know he been somewhere, he backed away from me. But when I actually heard him mumble, you're really done with me, that's when I knew I had my fucking power back, boys and girls. You know why? Because I was done. But I had to mirror this man's behavior before I was done, to show him that I took my control back, because your ass is sprawled in front of my camera in that bedroom like you on a gynecological table getting your ass checked out. And I knew goodness well that nobody in their right mind want to be exposed in that type of way. But whether you ever see me exposed that way or not, that's exactly how I was left to feel in this house, like trash, like dirt, like the useless piece of good for nothing that he wanted me to feel like. But thank you very much, because now I feel vindicated, or whatever you call that word. I just don't know what I would have done if I didn't have access to this computer to drift my mind away from some of the stuff I was going through. I actually struggled not to commit suicide, and it's horrible. If you don't know how it feels to stand in a room in broad daylight and only see darkness because you can't see light anymore, then you will never understand what it feels like when a person no longer wants to be here. And I know one thing for sure. I'm going to be the leader of my destiny if I ever reach that point again, because I know what I could take and what I could not take. But I kept on saying, I can handle this. I can handle this, but I got to get back on my own. And the only way I was able to get back was through giving what I was given, to make the person feel like I was made to feel. Can you imagine somebody just going and going and going and going and going, and when they get the reaction that they want, back up off you, like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you got it. Well, I got it too. But you know what? I kid you not, none of this would have been able to happen without a very good friend of his, because his friend knew exactly what he had done to other people. And the way he told me that those 4 women that he did this to already, they didn't even get their life back. Those women are just horrified. They're living in all kind of shame, whatever. Fuck shame. I didn't do this to myself, and I sure as hell didn't go outside looking to be got either. But I tell you one thing, my friend said to me a little while ago. He said, "Girl, you are a true Libra. You damn right I'm a true Libra. You better not ever try to come for me. You're not gonna see me sneaking around you like a snake, because you a snake in the grass." And I kid you no lie, I am so happy. But the fact remains, I love this man. I actually love him. But you know what I had to do to get where I needed to go? I had to sweet talk, and I had to give and give and give, because my friend told me he's a narcissist. And I'm like, huh? Now I know I hear the word, and I know I hear the meaning, and I still don't know what a narcissist is, but I knew one thing. A narcissist can be beat just like anybody else. I knew that, and I told my friend, there is a way to get a narcissist. There is. And people feel like you can't get a narcissist. Yes, you can. You got to give a narcissist what they give you, but you got to serve it on a platter, real nice and easy. The fighting and the arguing and all. Let me explain something to you. When this man was not able to look me in my face anymore, that was the first red flag. That was the first red flag. Before, it was all about, looking in my eyes and holding my hands and making sure I understood and leaning back in the chair and being so attentive to me. Then after that, it went by the wayside. Then one day, I'm sitting in the room. Now, let me tell you something, girls. I am not the person that's looking for problems. I don't look for a problem. I'm not going to create a problem. I'm not going to give you all that jealousy. I'm just not that person. When you leave here, I trust you 110% until you give me a reason not to trust you. I'm not looking for any way, shape, or fashion to cause any disruption in your life. It is just not me. I am the easiest woman anybody can be with, because I respect from the gate. I trust from the gate until you give me a reason not to trust. We are sitting down in the living room watching a nice, good old movie. All of a sudden, the phone rings, and this lady pops up on the screen. Now, of course, I know who the lady is by now. And at the time, I didn't know, but then someone confirmed and I understood. So the phone rings and the person jumps up on the screen. So, of course, I turn my head. Why? That's not my phone, and I'm not going to be. Why? That's none of my business. That's way above my pay grade. So, like I said, at the time, I didn't know who it was. Then he jumps up, runs in the back room, and all I hear on the phone was "babe." Now, of course, I'm distraught in my mind. But of course, I kept my composure and continued watching the movie. So I said, okay, red flag one. But then I said to myself, that could be his daughter, that could be his sister, that could be, you don't know who it is. But then logic came over me. I said, you know what? I'm not going to beat myself in the head with no bullshit. You don't use a term of endearment like that with just anybody. And your kid is not your babe. So I figured out, it was someone, and at the time didn't know who the person was, until, of course, the phone rang again, and if I'm not mistaken, the person's name came across the screen. So then I said, okay, now you're telling me that you don't live with this person. You told me that you and this person don't have nothing, but now all of a sudden you coming out the bathroom, out the shower, wrapped up in a towel, about to give me all the chocolate stick, and you telling this person you can't talk right now because you at work. So at that point in time, I really knew that I had to work on doing what I had to do. And then I'm like, okay. Then he looks at me with his big old bright smile and cheerful. And yes, he did deliver the mail, honey, the mail, the UPS package, and everything. Shit, and the whole kit and caboodle. But then I'm sitting here like, this is a straight up savage. So when I went and took my HIV test and it came back negative, that's when I knew there was no chance that man was going to get me that way again. And I knew I had to get where I had to go, or I wasn't going to regain my sanity. My friend told me a little while ago, he said, girl, he said, you did not lay down and just take this. He said, you fought back. And you're right, I had to fight back. You know what's going to make it? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. When I first found out, I didn't know for sure, and I didn't want to go on based on someone that knew that he was married but didn't know for sure if they resided under the same roof, because that makes a difference. Because married people separate, people stay married forever because it's cheaper to keep her. So we're not going to beat our heads in bullshit. Anyway, I called a private detective. First I called a lawyer, and I called a private detective. The private detective told me exactly how to do it to get everything I wanted. And he said to me, you don't even need to confirm whether or not he's married. I can go to the church and confirm if they're actually in a sleeping arrangement. So I said, you don't have to do none of that. All I need to know is, do they reside under the same roof? But then I said, you know what? I don't need to know that either, because deception is deception, and I was deceived from day one, from more than one person. So I'm gonna forever, in at that point in time, feel like I was just scorned, and just material that could just be thrown out the window, and just trash that could be walked on. But baby, I don't feel like that today. Boys and girls, if you could have seen that eagle up in here yesterday trying to get this cookie. Nah, son, the cookie ain't. Oh, it's not. I hate that word, ain't. Oh, I hate that word. That's why I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get off of social media watching videos, because that word is so untidy to me. Anyway, I am not. So there you go. I corrected myself. But I'm sitting here now waiting for my book to publish. That's what I'm waiting for. Oh! It said in review, and then I refreshed the screen. It said publishing. Boom! Congratulations! Right here on the screen, boys and girls. Yes, no mistakes. Well, it might be a little error here and there, but I'm not a professional writer. I'm just a regular person at home. So, and guess what? My book is $9.99. You know why I said I could easily turn into the next Kardashian with the bald head and glasses and the big old ass, but I said I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it through my book. Hopefully, I can gain at least a breakfast meal off my book, but I kid you not. I said every mother that crossed me, I'm putting it in the book. I already went to ChatGPT and to make sure I can't get sued, as long as everything in that book is correct. I didn't slander, I didn't accuse, I didn't deflame and all other, and I didn't do none of that stuff. Everything in that book is mine. Everything is true, and it happened to me. Boys and girls, when I get my shirt done with my book, and guess what? My friend is like, or he keep on saying, Sharon, do you have the video? I said, I'm not going to confirm or deny. All I know is there may be a second. And I'm like, wow. But you know what? None of this stuff make a person feel good whose heart is built on kindness. But it does make you feel good when you know you defended yourself. So that's what I hope you come away from this video with, knowing that if you sit down and you cry, it is okay. I've been there, I've done that, but my crying days are over, because I fought back. I made that man reach a point of no despair, and he wanted the cookie and he wasn't getting it. Why? Because I took back my power. Now, you might have gotten something else, but I'm going to tell you what I did, boys and girls. Hold on, stay right there. Don't try to make me pause the video either. Boys and girls, and I'm telling you, this is not normally something I would do, but I gotta tell you, because I was told I have to do this video. You never know, I may end up in court, and this is true. Anyway, I had the man spread eagle on the edge of the bed. Boys and girl gave knife, pillow, and everything. But then I put on, I think her name is Shanisha, whoever the hell. This is my girl anyway. And then I put on the rose. And then every time the music changed, my hand was on the thumb. I changed it, and I was like this. Ooh, I was like this, and all you could see is. You had to be here. You had to be here. Oh, it was so funny. All I see. Well, let me show you. I had this. All you see is first the leg was like this. this little thing. I had it right there, and I was like this every time the music changed. I said, and I clicked the button. Boy, if you don't know what a rose would do, baby, you better go find one. Whoa, this right here. But I'm gonna tell you something. The red one is a little smoother than the purple one. The purple one got the power, baby. Can you hear it? Boy, I lit a hole in that ass with this right here. Yes, I did. But I tell you no lie. Ooh, stop now, girl. Oh. But I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful. But I was hurt. I was hurt, and I went through a lot of crying. I was going through confusion because I was like, wait a minute. I'm learning the Bible, and then I heard this man. I think his name is Billy Graham, and it says if you live one way on Sunday and you live another way, then you are the devil. You're Satan. You're not anointed. You're not this. You're not that. I felt so bad, and then that day when I went to church, like I said, that was the day I was going to commit suicide. Then this lady came out on the podium and she started talking about how she went through this depressive state, and I wasn't going to be able to survive that. I was already on the brink, so I ran out of the church crying. I forgot I even drove to the church. I walked all the way home that day. But I am going to forever feel a certain way, because had I had known that day that I met him that he was married, I could have prevented all of this. It wouldn't have mattered if he was married, separated, or nothing. I should have just been known that he was married. I didn't need to know the details, because I would have walked away. I don't want to borrow that kind of trouble. I already was in a situation with Kevin before, didn't know a whole bunch of stuff, and then, and on the guise of helping him. I never went into nothing looking for to be with no married man, but the way I was treated, all in kindness, me helping him, got him stable, got him clean off drugs, all of that. Nobody was able to see that. All they saw is what they thought they knew, but it is what it is. I feel great. I feel great. But I absolutely believe, and I know someone who does movies, but I think I should try to work on a movie, because this should bring me something. There is one thing that I can promise you that I do know. We were brought together for a reason, and we would have made it. We would have made it. Had I was not lied to and deceived, we could have made it. But some of his behavior had me confused, because it's not the behavior of a narcissist. But then I had to go deep and look into some of his behaviors, and what got me from the rip was his words and his actions were two different things. And that was the red flag. And then I said, okay, these red flags are moving into the orange flags now, and I'm not playing in the sandbox. I don't like confrontation and nothing. So yesterday I held him, I hugged him and everything, and I told him everything would have been different had you have told me the truth from the beginning. And he couldn't even look at me. And when you don't look at a person, it could be a whole lot of things. But I believe it's shame. It's shame, because he knows all you had to do is come to me correct. I'm not a shallow person. I'm not a person that just doesn't have any type of, upstairs there. So it is what it is. But I don't know. I was crying yesterday when he was here. I started breaking down, because I knew exactly what I was doing with the information that I had. I knew exactly what I was going for. I knew exactly what I was going to do to him. I knew it all, but it had to be done. Can you imagine someone in your life living a whole double life with you, and then they get to walk away from you, leaving you with nothing? Absolutely not. No, I'm not going for it. No. I said no, not at all. No, it's not going to happen. Not me. I was so angry. I was like, how do you go into someone's home, see that this person is single, see that this person's whole life, they don't have anything to keep it from you. You got a key, you got everything. You know what he said to me yesterday? He said to me yesterday, "You used me for your own needs or whatever, something like that. You used me, so I used you." I was like, "I'm gonna give you back your. I'm gonna leave you alone and give you back your key." I said, "You can keep the key." I said, "I don't keep the key." I said, "What I got from you yesterday is enough to hold me tight for the rest of my life." And then I thought about it. No, them keys cost a good penny. So I said, "No, I need my keys." I said, "But you can hold on them for a while." But yesterday I felt a certain type of way. I kind of felt like I was gonna cry because I knew what I was gonna do with the information that I had gained and everything. But I said, you know what? I'm in a few groups with a lot of people that say people cheated and everything. They always say, you know, do you contact your wife? And everybody say you contact your wife. And I'm like, why would you contact your wife when the wife already knows how her husband is? And I'm in a lot of groups, like I said, and even the men say it. The reason why they continue to do what they do is because the wife obviously know that she's not who he wants to be with. And if she doesn't want to leave and she wants to stay, they're gonna stay, but they're gonna stay and they're gonna continue to live their life. And it's the truth. And the reason why I say it's the truth because I'm a woman. If my husband was out there giving up the services and I chose to stay, I got to live with the consequences of me staying. I'm not going to try to change somebody who can't be changed. Just think about it. You know who you are as a person. You're a good person. Do you want to have to change everything to be with someone because you like to turn the ketchup this way and they like to turn it that way? No, you want someone to accept you for who you are. That's why when my husband cheated, I left. I didn't need to be mellowing out and saying maybe and what if. No, baby, I don't have time for that. I want to live whatever piece of life I have a chance to live, and that's exactly what I did. You stay with the consciousness, and when I found out that she knew already that has happened, and his congregation knew, I'm like, excuse me, and I was reassured. Even the private detective told me he don't give a damn about his wife. He cares about his congregation. So I'm like, wow. But then when I found out that when someone said to me, all you got to do is go to Facebook and ask a few people. And then I had to fake the funk one day when I asked him if he would have a threesome with me. And he said, yeah, as long as it was with a woman. I said, no, with a man. But that was the day the private detective made me ask him something to confirm we were in a sexual relationship. I needed it on text message. He said, you can't, that's not admissible in court, in email, in nothing. It got to be in a text. I said, okay, so boom, would you like to do a threesome? Yep, with another female. So I said, no, not another female. Another man was like, don't ask me that again. Well, I didn't have to ask you to again. Once you said yes, that's all I needed. So basically, my private detective told me everything I did warrants me to be able to get financial compensation for my hurt and pain. So he said, don't sign no contract, don't do none of that. He said, this man owes you for what he put you through. And I said, I'm gonna seal this damn coffin. Yes, I am. But now I said to myself, you know what? I necessarily don't need his money. I probably need my own money. I'm a girl who like to work, so I sat here and did my book, put my book at $9.99. If nobody wants to buy my book, at least I tried. But guess what? I am vindicated. I feel much better. I love myself. I love myself because all of what I did without reflecting on the fact that somebody is going to come for me and say, eh, and guess what? I'm right along with you. You know why? Because I did what I had to do for me. I cannot allow someone to walk into my home and just all out abuse me and just walk all over me and then walk out like they never knew me. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. And then to promise me anything and not fulfill your word, nah, sir. We are not walking on the same side of the street. You behave like that. Absolutely not. So this book, like I said, is called The Awakening, Finding My Power After the Storm. And basically it is about my sexual relationship with Pastor Furman. I never said the first, so it could be anybody and it could be a false name, but it's not. It's Pastor Furman. And I'm devastated because there is someone that I know knows this person. And I stayed away from this person in every capacity because I didn't want to slip up and tell her who I was dealing with. But I didn't know nothing about what I found out. And I found out basically through the grapevine. So it is what it is. And he said, no, this didn't happen. But guess what? I hope after my book comes out, I hope more women come forward, because if nothing happens other than this man is stripped from that church, that's what needs to be happening. You know why? Because he's not a man of God. He's not a man of God. Not living like that behind the scenes. And I do believe that I wasn't the only one. And I found out I wasn't the only one in the past, but I don't believe I'm the only one now. And it's okay. The thing is, I'm not hanging down from a tree, and my daughter's not sitting at my grave. That is the blessing. Thank you so much. Have a good day.